Hi guys, welcome to lecture of logical tree and visual tree from .NetSkoool. Now this is a very important concept regarding your interviews, that what do you mean by logical tree and visual tree. Also you need to know this concept to understand the concept of routed events or dependency properties or property value inheritance. So you just need to understand what do you mean by logical tree and visual tree. And also this question is often asked. So let's move into slides first. Now the logical tree represents the essential structure of your UI. If you have a grid that contains a button, logical tree will be like window, and then it goes to grid, and then it goes to button. Let's move to our Visual Studio and see, I have a window, then I have a grid, and then inside that grid I have a button. So this is the logical tree for me. That is, window has a grid and grid has a button. So this tree is visible to our eyes, right? Okay, so this is the logical tree. The reason why it's called logical tree is because it's purely logical. For naked eyes, it's just because of a window, a grid, and a button. But actually, this is not the case. Now, inside a window and between a window and a grid, we might have a border control too. Between a grid and a button control, we can have a adorner decorator too, so that my controls could be decorated well. So a window and then a grid inside a window and then a button inside that grid is just a logical situation. That's why it's called a logical tree. Though it's visible to our eyes that window has a grid and then grid has a button, it is a logical tree. Let's move back. So if we have a window and then a grid and then a button, it's the logical tree that is visible to our eyes. And here comes the visual tree. So the visual tree represents all of the elements in our UI which are rendered on the screen. So in the same example of our previous slide, the visual tree will be like, we can see window, then we have a border, then we have a adorner decorator, then we have a content presenter, then we have a grid, then we have a button, then we have a Chrome button, then we have a content presenter. So this content presenter here represents the content of the button. Okay, same goes with this content presenter, which represents the content of this window. So we have a title of this window with the help of that content presenter. So all these controls are not visible to your naked eyes. You need some special tools to visualize this tree. Okay, but this is the actual tree that is present behind the scenes. So this is called visual tree, and which is not the actual tree, that is called logical tree. So this window, grid, and button is just a logical situation, so it is called logical tree. And the names are a bit confusing because what is visual to our eyes should be visual tree. That's what was I thought in the first, that what is represented in front of my eyes, that should be visual tree, but I was wrong. That is logical tree. That is all logical. The actual visual tree is this tree. Okay, now there are various tools, those are available to see the visual tree behind the scenes. One of that tool is Snoop tool, but in reality we don't need that Snoop tool in our projects. We can see all this visual tree when we run our application in a debug mode. Okay, so let's try to see our visual tree with running this application in the debug mode. So I have a button click event. I have generated that button click event. Okay, and let me put a debug point in here so that I can run my application in a debug mode. And let me run this application now. The moment I click this, it goes into the debug mode. So my control has come in here. Okay, and then let me go to my watch window. You need to add a quick watch for this. And here it is, my WPF tree visualizer. So this is the tool which is attached with Visual Studio. So once you click that, you will get a visual tree with this application. So this is the full visual tree that's present inside this application. So main window, border, adorner, decorator, content presenter, grid, button, chrome button, content presenter, text block. So this is the visual tree that's being actually used, and the logical tree is window, grid, and then button. So I hope this explains you the concept of logical tree and visual tree. So what is represented to our eyes, that is logical. What is actual present in behind the scenes, that's the visual tree. This is the visual tree and this is the logical tree. So thank you so much guys for listening. If you have any doubt, please leave a comment below and please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so very much.